BILK, Soul, Luke, Hare, it's great to see you. Feeling good today?
Banging, yeah.
Feeling good, feeling good, yeah.
Sweet as.
Why not?
Good stuff. Latest single, R&R, is a welcome blast of rock and roll. Do you think that's missing?
What,
Yeah.
what, in today's music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, man, yeah. I think it's missing, totally. And I think this tune was definitely like a bit of a sort of calling card, as if to say, like, you know, someone's got to come along and do it, and we think that's us. So, yeah.
How did it all sort of come together?
I wrote the instrumental, like the riff, on the guitar, maybe about, I don't know,
It's probably like May
probably about a year before I even wrote the full song, to be fair. And then I just kind of had it for a while, and then it was just a thing during rehearsal. I ended up writing the lyrics over it, and I started with that, you know, the lyric where it says, "You're not artists, you're just TikTok entertainers."
Yeah.
Talking about how like social media has made people into like marketing managers instead of musicians. Obviously, I took that lyric, and that was the first one, and then everything just kind of spurred from there. And I thought, when I wrote the riff, I was like, this is going to be a song about rock and roll. I already knew it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, it's got to be a song, just a bit of an ode to rock and roll, you know what I mean? And being a rock and roll star and how you feel and that. It's about the attitude you have as a person as well, you know what I mean? It's about how you choose to walk and wearing what you want to wear and living your life how you want to live it, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And a real beefed up sound as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, that's we got in the studio with Andy Gannon to produce it. And we only spent 2 days recording it, didn't we?
Something like that. Needed.
Yeah.
Whereabouts was it recorded?
In Stoke.
Ah.
Yeah, in Stoke-on-Trent. That was fun, wasn't it?
Heaven on earth.
Yeah, we stayed at a little travel lodge, didn't we?
It was very fun.
And it was just loads of what they call dust heads walking around, which was people on this shit called, what is it, zombie dust?
Zombie dust.
It was like a new drug that was like taking over Stoke-on-Trent at the time. So it was just like, it was like leaving the travel lodge. You just have to, it was like something out of Shaun of the Dead. You know, you have to walk out and just battle people.
It was. We would hear like. We would go out for a ciggy or whatever.
Risking your life going out for a
downstairs in the travel lodge. You just hear noises in the background or whatever. Like it was like something out of a film, and you'd be like, "What was that? Should we go in? Let's go in."
He's fucked with that
Not
shit.
tempted to try it?
No,
definitely not.
That shit fucks you up. That's one drug that we won't take.
Yeah. It's like a horrible kind of drug. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. No, it's fucked with that shit. But you know, obviously, as long as we can get in a studio and record the music, we don't really care where it is or what studio it is. As long as it ends up sounding good, do you know what I mean? We're pretty happy to do it wherever. So Stoke was sweet, just as much as we did. When we did it in Manchester. Do you know what I mean?
Recorded our first album basically on a farm, wasn't it? So
yeah, in the middle of nowhere, wasn't it?
Which is good. It takes you out of your distractions instead of going down the pub or like I don't know, even
walking down
shops or whatever. You know, when you're in the studio, you end up finding yourself going to the shop a lot. Because you'll wait, you know, you might track your drums and then like, okay, you're doing nothing for the rest of the day. You end up going to Sainsbury's like 5 times. But
you're just under packs of breadsticks sitting in the studio from where Harry's gone a million times talking by himself. Yeah,
it keeps you more focused then, being sort of constrained in one place.
It does, yeah. I mean, when we recorded the first album on that, it was like a farm, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the name of it.
You could kind of go out for a walk and it'd be like nice and I don't know. You just kind of feel. It just feels right, sort of thing. And there's no distractions, you know.
Yeah.
No distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And the video for R&R seemed like a good laugh.
The video was fucking sick, mate. That was the best video that we've done so far. Yeah.
Got drones in it and everything flying about, recording.
It was the most professional video that we've done. What was that? No, it's the most professional video that we've done. Most professional. We did it with this guy called Sam Hooper, and he's from our area. And he's just he's like a sort of just a film director, I suppose, and we kind of know him through just other people. We've known him for ages, and he just has a really good eye for aesthetics and everything. And obviously, me and him sort of co-directed it and kind of came up with the ideas together. Like, you know, like you see the car in it, like with the car going through and everything. Like that was kind of like, I had the image from the moment I wrote it that there was going to be a car. I just had the image of a car rolling down, almost like something out of a Doors video or something. Do you know what I mean? You know, the whole hitchhiking thing, kind of Jim Morrison, like it kind of gave me the idea for that, and just loads of other inspirations from it as well. Like if you watch the video, you can see that there's like loads of different inspirations there as well. Like you know, even like Oasis and that. Obviously, we're big into Oasis as a band and that. So you can see like the rooftop shots are sort of a bit of an ode to that. You know what I mean? It's got loads of different references.
We filmed a lot of it in Chelmsford as well, like where we're from, sort of thing. Which cool.
Rose's Cafe, which was like a motorway cafe that we always normally go to.
The driving shots, that's at Hanningfield Reservoir.
Yeah. Which
is just basically a big reservoir in Essex. Which everyone in it, like it's a known place sort of thing. And that's where all the drone shots are in it with the with the Porsche and stuff.
Yeah.
The rooftop shots there in London.
That was Ladbroke Grove. And we
Yeah.
bumped into Jarvis Cocker.
We
That
did
was
bump
cool.
into
Yeah.
We was outside
We loaded
packing the
with
van
stuff.
up or something. And normally when Luke sees someone that looks like someone, like I don't know, Liam Gallagher for instance or whatever, he'll go, oh look, Liam Gallagher over there, and just like, yeah, funny or whatever. He went, oh, this is Jarvis Cocker over there. I went, do you reckon it is? And he went, no, yeah, it is him. He just looked like, he's kind of like,
Weird, tall bloke in glass.
with a tote bag. He looked like an art school kid, but like, well, he was 60 sort of thing.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I'm a teacher.
But we went to hello, didn't
when
you?
I said hello to him, yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he was alright. Just exactly how you'd imagine, do you know what I mean? Just extremely introverted and just seemed like he didn't want to chat to me. I just went, oi Jarvis, like that. And I sort of ran after him and that, and went up to him and I said that, I think I said to him about like how my granddad likes, because he's done a gig with Scott Walker before or something like that. My granddad's well into Scott Walker. So my granddad had told me about how he'd seen him with Scott Walker at some like thing that they did in London or something. So I obviously started chatting to him about that, and I was like, I think I said to him something like, what do you think of Scott Walker? Oh, Scott Walker's good though, isn't he? Like, you know, I can't remember what I said to him, but he went, yeah, he's dead now. And that just like cut and dry. Do you know what I mean? He was a funny bloke, but I only chatted to him briefly and that told him about BILK.
He seems very eccentric.
Yeah,
you know what
he
I
just
mean?
didn't seem interested, but you know, you get used to that being in a band.
And I mean, R&R, is that a good indication where the second album's going to go?
Nah, not really, I wouldn't say. I think it's just, the thing is, yeah, with BILK, it always stays unpredictable, do you know what I mean? It's like you don't know what sort of song is going to come next, and I think that's what keeps it interesting. You know what I mean? I think there are sort of bands out there, like, you know, Oasis, or like AC/DC, or sort of bands like that have like one sort of sound,
yeah.
and one sort of direction, you know. Like you put on an AC/DC album and it's like the tunes are banging, and you can listen to it and it'd be great, and you know what you're getting when you listen to it, but it's like very much one sort of thing, you know what I mean? Whereas BILK is like, it's sort of all different inspiration, because I'm into so much different shit as a songwriter, do you know what I mean? So all the inspirations just come from everywhere, you know what I mean? Obviously that one was inspired by AC/DC and Oasis and all the rest of it. But there'll be other tunes that are inspired by different things, you know what I mean?
You're big
And
Beyonce, man.
Yeah.
What can we
Taylor
sort of
Swift.
expect then?
I
I mean, how far are you down the line? You know, how many songs you got that you know on the second album? For sure?
It's about halfway at the minute.
Ah.
It's about halfway at the minute. We don't know when we're recording it. We're talking about getting in the recording studio in summer, aren't we?
Yeah.
Talking about doing it in the
It
summer.
won't take us long. Like we did the first album in 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks, was it?
We'll do this one in 2 minutes.
So and plus you end up recording a few tracks anyway. Pardon me. Throughout like the year, so you end up only maybe recording like 6 tracks or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it won't take us long.
We'll be ready for it.
But yeah, there's just a mixture of different sounds and that. Like the next singles that we've got, we're getting in the studio to record 2 new singles that we're going to be dropping in a couple months. And they're like a different vibe to R&R, do you know what I mean? And I like that though, because it makes it unpredictable. It's like people think that they're going to get a load of R&R now, where it's like they've got that and that's as good as it gets, do you know what I mean?
But it still fits together though.
Yeah, of course, because it's all built, whatever I write will be built, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you've got like 10 o'clock and then Hummus and Peter on the first album, but they still kind of like, they still feel like they're in the same album.
Yeah. I know, it's a cohesive work, the first one, for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, in our last interview at South by Southwest, you told me, you know, I document my life in music. Where does that sort of take us then, on the new album? In terms of lyrically?
I don't know really. I suppose like with R&R it's sort of taken a step, because I think it was when I wrote R&R you said, do you remember you saying that you thought it was like a sort of part 2 to Be Someone?
Be Someone, yeah.
Because obviously Be Someone's on the first album and she's talking about like aspirations with the music and making it with the music and that.
Great song.
And obviously R&R is sort of like a bit more settled into that role. It's a bit more like, alright, now I'm actually doing it sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
With
And
Be
kind of
Someone-
talking about the lifestyle and all the rest of it and living fast and sort of the lifestyle of being a rock and roll star, you know what I mean?
It's similar, for me it's similar to Be Someone because it makes you feel a certain way and you want to fucking like get up and go, right. Do you know what I mean? It makes you feel a certain like, a certain way, and R&R did that for me as well. I had the same feeling when I first heard it, and so I it felt like they were brothers, R&R and Be Someone, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well there's a lyric as well in one of the new songs that we're recording soon, which is which talks about like people asking me about the band. You know what I mean? There's a lyric in this new song that we've got, and it says like about my mum's friends coming over and them asking me about the band and me having to say the same old shit of like, you know, oh, it's going good, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And obviously, when you do this as like a career or whatever, you get asked that a lot. Do you know what I mean? Oh, how's the band going? It's just like constantly. So there's like a little lyric in there about it. So I think like maybe talking more and being in a band and that as my reality. Whereas a lot of the tunes before I wrote them when I was just at college. You know what I mean? And sort of just growing up, you know what I mean, and working in the call centre and shit like that, you know what I mean, and not really sort of solidified into the music more. Whereas now we're like properly living it. So whether it will take that sort of turn, I don't know.
It's funny when you say like when your mum's friends come round about how the band's going and that. I've noticed anyway with me, with maybe people that didn't believe in it at first, they'd be like, oh, so how's the band going then? And then now where like, not that we've like blown up and made, but when you end up playing a few decent shows and selling out a tour or whatever, now people are like, oh, how's the band going, sort of thing, in a different kind of tone, sort of thing. They say, oh right, it's working, you know, so it's doing really well. Whereas beforehand, you know, it was like, oh, how's the band going?
It's just a lot more real now. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot more real than it is. You know what I mean? We're actually like, shit gets more real when you're like on the road and that, and you sort of you're selling out bigger gigs and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? You're seeing the fans come up to you with the tattoos and all the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of different, but. At the same time, it's a weird thing because we're in that sort of like middle gap where we're like, I'm still living a very normal life. Do you know what I mean? Like Harry said, we haven't like blown up massively, so it's not like we're all in mansions now. Do you know what I'm saying, or anything like that? It's like we're still living very normal lives and shit, and we're still like sort of the same financial position and the same sort of lifestyle. But it's just like obviously the gigs are getting bigger and the band's getting bigger, so it's that sort of middle ground. You know what I mean? It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's going in the right direction.
But I'm sort of just writing about whatever sort of comes to me. Really, that's what I've always done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wrote a song about like mental health in our generation the other day, which is something that I've never done before, but it was just something that I thought was relevant and I thought needed to be spoke about. Do you know what I mean? In my own way, from my own perspective. Do you know what I mean?
Very relevant, man.
Because obviously you get other artists and that nowadays that talk about mental health in music, but I like to do it in obviously my own way. Do you know what I mean? And be able to express it. That's a good thing about music. You can chat about shit that's been spoke about, but you can do it in your own sort of way. It's the same way with R&R. You know, it's because obviously a lot of people compared it to the Oasis song "Rock and Roll Stars." Obviously they're gonna. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like completely obvious as to why people would make the comparison, but it's like that's me taking a sort of similar subject and making it my own. Do you know what I mean? You can see in the verses and the lyrics and stuff what it says and that, you know, it speaks about a load of different shit. You know, not wanting to live a normal life and working a 9 to 5, being stuck in that sort of lifestyle, and also just about like social media and the way that like you get these bands on TikTok and not even bands so much, but just artists on TikTok that make it big through, you know, making like, you know, the way I always say it is there used to be 1-hit wonders, now it's like 15-second wonders, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
True.
you know, it's a different world now and that, and obviously I like to comment on that shit in my music, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Anything I'm thinking or feeling really, and anything I'm going through, I just sort of just put it in there, I guess, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is Sometimes definitely on it?
Something, you mean?
Something, sorry.
Something, yeah. Yeah, maybe. We think about re-recording it as a full band. But we're not really sure yet.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, great tune. I mean, yeah, as I say, the self-titled album was out in February. Are you still pleased when you think back on the results? Is there anything that you change?
No, we're not really.
When it comes to record.
Yeah,
no,
you get a lot of artists, and they sort of like say about in interviews about how they make something, and then a year later they've got loads of criticism about it. I haven't found any sort of criticism about the first album, but we was really meticulous on it though. Do you know what I mean? We spent ages like really thinking about the track listing. Yeah. You know, weeks just thinking about the track listing and what order they're going to go in and what songs we're going to use, and me going through every single lyric and making sure everything was like, you know what I mean? It was meticulous, like all the music is, to be honest. We spend a lot of time on it. Do you know what I mean? I spend a lot of time writing the songs and making sure it's perfect from my point of view, and then obviously we spend a lot of time developing it as well and making it perfect, don't we? Like with the new tunes that we're recording, that's what we've been doing lately, just getting in the rehearsal room and just like perfecting them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How often do you practice?
It depends what's going on, really. It depends what's going on. If there's fuck all going on, we like sort of rehearse like every now and then, you know what I mean? You sort of just here and there, you know what I mean? Just to we obviously want to keep things going and that, because otherwise if you don't rehearse for ages, you get rusty, don't you?
Yeah.
But before the tour, we would normally start rehearsing maybe a month or a few weeks before a tour, maybe in the past. But this tour we just done in November last year, we got in the rehearsal rooms probably about 3 months or something before, and then started doing it like 3 times a week, and really noticed how fucking like tight we ended up getting, because like the first few rehearsals, like we kind of look at each other as in like fucking bit sloppy.
Yeah,
bit sloppy. Do you know
when we come in from not rehearsing for ages, we do, yeah.
But then we ended up, and then we when it comes to the tour, we were so fucking ready. Like we was just so. It doesn't take us long to get back into that groove though, because we've been playing together for so long. It doesn't take us long to get back in that.
Clicks together, man. Even when I've got a new tune and that, like, I come in with a new tune and it's just like a lot of the time it's just clockwork getting it together, innit?
Yeah, because that's what's fun about being in a band. You end up just fucking. What are you laughing at?
Are you laughing because I almost said clockwork?
Is it that like clockwork? But no, yeah.
I thought he was.
Yeah, but I mean, 2 UK tours last year, venues getting bigger. What can we expect tour-wise this year then?
We're talking about doing. Well, I had this idea a little while ago, and we're trying to put it together at the moment about doing a tour in a couple months of really small venues, like 100, 200 cap venues. Because obviously we've heard about a lot of. We keep seeing this shit about a lot of venues closing down and that.
Yeah.
The smaller ones, you know what I mean?
The smaller
All
ones,
the
obviously.
grassroots ones.
Well, I think at the moment there's all the money in the big gigs like Ed Sheeran or whatever, and then there's not so much money in where Ed Sheeran came from. You know what I mean? Like the 100 to 200 cap venues or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like we're sort of just past that level now, where we're like the last 2-3 years we've started playing like bigger venues and kind of gone past that level or whatever. But you know, for the majority of our career so far, we was playing them venues, you know what I mean, and just working to fill them out and everything, and going through that sort of circuit. So
yeah, we wouldn't be here without them venues. Otherwise, you
100%. That's how we built our following, like, over time. Do you know what I mean? Packing out the 100, 200 cap venues and that.
And they're just closing down all around the country. All around the country. So we
so we want to do something to help. Do you know what I mean?
We want to go and do 100 to 200 cap venues around the country. Do quite a few dates, and then give the proceeds. Is that what you say? Is that the word for it? The
Proceeds.
money.
Yeah.
The proceeds. Is that what you said?
Proceeds.
Put the money, like the ticket money, to the venues and kind of like let them have that sort of thing. Just
help them out, innit?
It means we get to go and play around the country and do what we want to do, and have
You can raise some money for the venue.
and we get to raise some money for the venue.
And it's kind of like you almost feel like you shouldn't have to. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of money in like the government and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? And you kind of sit there and think to yourself, well, like, three skint blokes from Essex, how are we going to help that? Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously,
we can.
we've got a bit of a platform, so that's why we're doing it. Do you know what I mean? Because we can sell out the venues. We know we can go to basically most cities in the UK and sell like 100 to 200 cap, venues and that, sell them out. So we can make a bit of money for the venue. Then that's kind of what we want to do. You know what I mean? Gets us gigging again as well. You know what I mean?
And Louis Tomlinson supports dates on the cards in the future?
No, I haven't chatted to him in ages, man.
So, no,
I still have respect for him for putting us on and all the rest of it, but we ain't chatted to him in ages. I think he's probably just doing his own thing, do you know what I mean? We're doing our own thing as well,
He's a busy guy, man. He's a busy guy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he is. Did he ever offer up any career advice, as it were?
Not really.
Really.
Stay away from the weirdos, that's what he said. Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Which I already knew that anyway. That was advice I already knew. Do you know what
I mean, last year as well, lots of festival dates. We're lucky to see you at South by Southwest too. That's two great
That was fucking
gigs.
banging, man.
Yeah.
And
we love that.
How was the rest of the American adventure for you then?
Fucking right. we had it off.
Well, yeah.
We had it.
We met the local Texans and we just got on it for a couple of days.
We did it properly.
Went back to England with like no sleep and got home, and there's like the time zone difference. There's like 6 hour time zone difference, so you're not only just not had any sleep and incredibly hungover, but you get back to England and you're like
you're fucked.
You're completely fucked. You know what I mean? I remember getting back and like trying to have a conversation with my mum and that at like 9 a.m. and just been up all night, and I was just like fucking falling asleep. Do you know what I mean? But we had a mad one though. It was banging. Fucking America's great, man. Everything's just fucking larger there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's larger than life.
It is fucking good. We had a good laugh.
I remember you saying you were listening to Johnny Cash out there. Did you? Is that still on your radar? What else?
Did I say that in the last interview?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 'cause you was on that song at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like Johnny Cash still. I found a record of his. It was Johnny Cash live at St Quentin. It was.
Oh,
the prison one. Yeah. So I've been listening to that. I like that sort of country music. If you call it, would you call it country? I suppose you would, wouldn't it, Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really well versed in country music, but I like Johnny Cash though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He sort of crosses.
I like his storytelling and his lyrics and that. You know what I mean? When you listen to like A Boy Named Sue.
Yeah.
And there's this other one as well where he's talking about someone on death row, and it's like, I think it's called 25 Minutes to Go. I think it's called. Do you know that one?
Yeah.
And he's like, he kind of counts it down throughout the song. It's really clever in that. So I like his lyrics and that, and the way that he tells a story. It's good. It's good. I appreciate music with good lyrics. Do you know what I mean? Like the same with like sort of poetry and that. Not that I really read a lot of poetry, but obviously John Cooper Clarke is the guy that I go to with anyone. Do you know what I mean? I don't really read any other poetry, to be honest.
He's still going, my word.
John Cooper Clarke, yeah, I know, I've seen him live.
Yeah,
I saw him at Clisp Pavilion in Southend.
We keep thinking we see him out and about.
Yeah,
but it's been about 4 or 5 times now. Where it's like, is that John Cooper Clarke over there? It's just some guy in all black, skinny
with
jeans,
wiggy hair and shades on, you know what I mean?
I'll find him one day.
Yeah, Luke will spot him. Luke always spots famous people when we're out.
I do.
Morrissey, we met Morrissey.
Oh, yeah.
We spotted him. It was another one of those, like I said earlier, where Luke said something that, like, you know, he looks like someone, and you go, yeah, whatever. And then we walk in, it's like, oh shit, no, that's actually Morrissey sat there.
Where was that then?
That was in
Manchester,
right out in the sticks in
near
Greater Manchester. We was near Macclesfield. We was recording Daydreamer, and for the first album, so we just recorded that track on its own, and we was there for like 2 days in the arse of nowhere in Manchester, and walk into this pub, and fucking Morrissey's just sat there having a beer, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, you hear about seeing, I don't know, like Liam, Noel, or whatever artist, you kind of hear about that in on Instagram, whatever, if they've been seen out or whatever, like, you know, you come across that kind of stuff. But I've never heard of people like bumping into Morrissey and getting photos of Morrissey and stuff like that. I just kind of always thought he was really under the radar like that.
Like
and he is, and he looks a bit different from maybe 10, 20 years ago or whatever. Obviously he's gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna.
People do age.
But he he was exactly how you think he would have been. Do you know what I mean? We kind of went over and said hello, and what did he say to you? You went over.
I went over to him.
How you doing, right?
I went, how's it going? I went, I'm a big fan of yours, and he's sitting there drinking like a Guinness or whatever. I went, I'm a big fan of yours. I don't mean to interrupt you in that, but no, how's it going? Are you alright? Yeah? And he goes, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Literally like that.
We were like, yeah, fucking nice one. And that's exactly what he was saying.
I'm stood there going, like, telling him about like how he's like an inspiration of mine and that. You know what I mean? Because obviously, like, I used to like the Smiths a lot. I still like the Smiths now, but I used to really be into them when I was like 18 and that. I was really fucking into him. Do you know what I mean? And he's like lyrics and that, and the poetry of it, and obviously, yeah. So I used to be into Morrissey and that, and I was chatting to him about it, and I was saying about like how I rated the realness in his lyrics and that, how it's like a lot of it is very straightforward, and it's not really like sort of too cryptic. It's just very straight. Like, but a lot of people take his music as really poetic and sort of like cryptic. It's actually not. I think a lot of it's really straightforward.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And quite easy to understand, but just raw. Do you know what I mean? And real. And I said like I get inspiration from your lyrics in that way. You know, just keeping my shit real and raw and talking about stuff and all the rest of it. And there was one bit where I went, yeah, because your lyrics are, and he stopped me and went, horrible. Because obviously he's known to have like fucking morbid music, isn't he?
I know, but he came across as a lovely guy.
He was well alright.
It was well alright.
I remember we was on the phone to Sean, a manager at the moment. We was on the phone to him, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then and then I think he said something like, oh, like, you could go and say hello, like you might end up just kind of like never meet your heroes kind of thing. Not that he's like a massive hero to us, but it's like you don't want to go and meet him and then he ends up being a bit of a dick.
Yeah. I mean,
and he wasn't. He was well alright. He was really nice fella.
Shot, wasn't he?
We didn't hang around for too long. We just kind of let him do his thing.
No, I just ate my fish and chips with Gil because he's a pro-vegetarian, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he fucked off. and then we met Pete Doherty like next month.
We did, yeah.
We just keep bumping into these people, and not even in music settings either. I mean, we're at festivals and gigs all the time. We never meet anyone there. We just meet people like walking through the street. Like we see, we stood outside a music shop getting Harry some drumsticks because he always chucks them into the crowd and that. So we had to get him some drumsticks. And fucking Pete Doherty's just walking outside with his dog and that. So we met him there as well. We just bump into these people, don't we? It's weird.
It's great fun.
Yeah, it's funny though, like, do you know what I mean? Most of them been alright, to be fair, apart from Rex Orange County, he was a cunt. He was.
And in Chelmsford, I mean, you seem to have, you know, a love-hate relationship with the place. How are your feelings for Chelmsford these days?
Chelmsford, yeah, Chelmsford just fucking Chelmsford, isn't it?
You fucking love Chelmsford.
Chelmsford just Chelmsford. I do love Chelmsford because the thing is, yeah, I've become like a fucking like local hero now. I walk around, not in the sense of like even the band. I don't even mean like that, but just in the sense I walk around, I chat to everyone all the time.
He knows all the locals.
Quite chatty in that, you know what I mean? I'll sit
about Clive and that.
Yeah. Clive. I'll sit on a park bench with like an old granny and chat to her for like 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy that sort of shit. I think it's good. You get value out of it sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'll go around and I'll fucking like, you know, like the bloke, like the people in the market stall and that. You know, who like, they run like a record stall in the market and that. And I'll go and chat to them. and like they know me, and I walk over and I go, "Oh, you're right, so," and it's a nice feeling. Do you know what I mean? And they'll come to the gigs and that sometimes. One of the blokes who runs the record store with his dad, it's him and his dad, and he comes to like the gigs and all the rest of it. Like he came to one of our meet and greets in London, didn't he? Do you remember?
He's a nice dude.
So it's safe when you get like a bit of a sort of, you know what I mean? There's not really much community in Chelmsford. It's not like we used to live in East London when I was younger and that. Like that's where my family are from. My family always go on about how there's more sort of community in East London. Do you know what I mean? It's more like sort of that typical, you know, if you need some sugar, knock on your neighbour's door sort of. You know what I mean? It's like a sense of community and that. Whereas like you don't really, it's not so much like that in Chelmsford, but I feel like it's got a little bit like that just because I fucking chat to everyone. I just chat everyone's ears
Well,
like
yeah,
that. So,
you
yeah.
make it yourself.
I force it. You know what I mean? I force the
so you
community.
should.
They have to be my friends.
I know you're a bit of a film buff.
I fucking love films, man. Yeah.
What are the best films you've seen the last year then?
He's got an Odeon membership card.
Yeah, yeah. My mum got it for me.
Checks
for
every
Christmas,
day
yeah.
on Odeon.
I check every fucking day. I wake up checking what's on at the Odeon because I like watching the classic films there as well. Do you know what I mean? If there's a classic film on, me and my girlfriend went and watched Jaws there. That was banging.
Oh, brilliant.
But and when you know that bit where you obviously seen Jaws, haven't you? Yeah. You know the bit where he's under the water and the face pops up.
Oh my god!
Do you remember that bit?
Yeah.
My girlfriend had a box of popcorn and just went like that, fucking went everywhere. But no, man. What are the best films that I've seen in the last year? I mean, I watched Saltburn the other night. That was pretty fucking wild. I mean, I wouldn't say it was one of the best films I've seen in the last year, but that was a pretty mad one. It's on my mind at the moment, especially that grave scene. You know the one I'm talking about. Like that, just fucking, you know what I mean. But yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. It's pretty mad, that, isn't it? But obviously that was a pretty wild film that. I don't know really. I mean, like, to be honest, man, I've seen a lot of films already. Do you know what I mean? I've watched them all through my teenage years and that. So like the best ones that I'd sort of say, I don't know if I've watched them in the last year or not, but I mean like, Train Spotting, Goodfellas, This Is England, Human Traffic.
Monsters Inc.
Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels is a banger as well. I love that film. Yeah, just loads like Jaws. Love Jaws. Jaws is a classic, man.
Yeah.
And what other films do I like? Snatch is a banger. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Gentleman, you mentioned The Gentleman. That's
Gentleman.
It's a newer
Sexy
one
Beast.
that feels like it's going to be a classic. That film.
There's this
Gentleman.
French. It's either a French or Spanish film. I can't remember. I should know the difference really. Do you know what I mean? But there's this either a French or Spanish film called Los Heroes de Mal, which is good. And is it Spanish? Is it right? Well, there you go. And it's translated The Heroes of Evil, and that's a really good film. I watched that. It's a less well known one, but it's about like this sort of teenage group of sort of misfits, and they get bullied in school and that, and then they sort of come together to like wreak their vengeance on everyone, you know what I mean, and sort of like plot against people, and they start like throwing bricks through people's windows and robbing supermarkets and shit, and like to sort of just like rebel against society, do you know what I mean? Kind of reminded me of myself in a way, do you know what I mean, with the band and that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man.
And well, we're getting to the end now. We're taking up a lot of your time. If you could go back in time and see any band, who would you choose?
Sex Pistols, without a doubt, easy.
You know what I'm going to say, but I want to kind of...
Just say Oasis.
Probably Oasis. Probably Oasis. I'm a massive Oasis fan, you know what I mean? But, I don't know, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Nirvana in their prime. That'd have been really fucking cool.
Nirvana's up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'd say the Sex Pistols for me, though, man.
Oasis for me, like 94 Oasis, I reckon. Yeah. Thank you.
I'd be getting right involved with the Sex Pistols, man. I'd be getting right involved. I'd be like spitting and all the rest of it. Like, you know, all the spitting and shit. I'd get right. I'd be jumping. I'd be pogoing around, man, going mad. I'd love that shit. The Sex Pistols are one of the most important bands for me. Do you know what I mean? So that'd be like, I'd definitely be well involved in that, man.
I think it'd be really cool to like see us back in the day.
Do you know what? Yeah, we was looking at old photos of us last night.
Imagine.
We was at the pub last night and we was all like, I got my camera out and we're looking at old photos from us like 4 or 5 years ago nearly, and we were like, fucking hell, like. So it would be quite mad to see
We've grown up so much.
See us play like 4 years ago. Or whatever.
That'd be a trip, man. I don't think I could handle that.
No, I don't think I could either, to be honest.
I'd wig out, man. I wouldn't even be able to enjoy it. I'd just be looking at my haircut thinking, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Do you know
One
what I
of
mean?
them ones.
But yeah, man, the Sex Pistols for me. I'm surprised you didn't say Green Day. I thought you would have said Green Day.
Yeah, I thought you would have said Green Day.
I could have done. I might change my mind.
Green Day's up there, like 1994 Green Day, like Woodstock or something. That would have been fucking.
Any other major plans for BILK in 2024?
Yeah, we're dropping a couple new singles next that are going to sort of build up to the summer and that, and then in the summer we'll be playing a few festivals. see what we get in it, see what happens, and that. We played Reading last year and the year before as well, and that went off. And we played, you know, a few other festivals as well, like Truck Festival and Tram Lines and all the rest of it. That was banging. But we don't know what we're going to get this year. It's kind of like a bit uncertain. It's only January, do you know what I mean? So you get told these things quite last minute, do you know what I mean? So we don't know what's going to come of it. But tour for the end of the year, yeah, as well.
Tour for the end of the year, yeah.
Talking about playing some bigger venues as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They just keep getting bigger and bigger, man. Do you know what I mean?
we'll have a big London show, I think, set up soon, hopefully. So
Yeah.
everyone can look forward to
We really
that.
do believe that no one can stop us at the minute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the direction that we're going and that, it's just banger after banger.
Yeah, the tunes are there. We're still the same hungry than we was, you know, a few years back. Like we've got a lot to do and a lot
man,
to
more singles, maybe a new album at some point. We'll just have to see what happens, really.
You got a working title for the album?
No, we've been chatting about the titles for it and that.
Nothing set in stone.
I think Luke came up with one the other day called "Fuck Bilk."
Yeah.
but we probably won't call it that. I don't know. I was just thinking, to be honest with you, I was just thinking BILK 2. Do you know what I mean? Just BILK 2. Do you know what I mean? Number them like that. I like the idea because obviously that goes back to me sort of being into films as well. You know what I mean? It's almost named like kind of like a TV series or something. You know what I mean? Like season 2 sort of thing. It's like the sort of prequel, and then you just keeps going. BILK 1, BILK 2, BILK 3. So that, and it reminds me of like Led Zeppelin as well. You know what I mean? And my granddad's into Scott Walker, and when he had his solo career, he named his shit. I remember my granddad telling me he named his Scott Walker's solo career. He named it Scott 1, Scott 2, Scott 3, Scott 4, and that.
I sound quite cool about that.
I just like
I do
it.
like
I just
that.
think it's cool. It's simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to BILK 12 though.
No, you'll have Soul 1 then.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Anything else you want to say to Music News watchers out there?
Fuck BILK.
Stay rocking in the free world, man.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you, mate.
Excellent.